And does he still stand by the letter that he signed, which opposed the removal of 50 foreign criminals, one of whom went on to murder?
David Lammy under fire over controversial deportation case. You're not going to believe what just happened. David Lammy, one of Labour's most outspoken MPs, is once again at the centre of a political storm. This time, it's not about speeches in Parliament or fiery TV debates. It's about a deeply controversial deportation case that has split opinion across the UK. And let me tell you, the timing couldn't be worse. Just 3 minutes ago, reports broke that Lammy was involved in moves to challenge the deportation of a group of 50 migrants scheduled to be removed under the Home Office's latest crackdown. Supporters say he's standing up for human rights. Critics say he's ignoring the rule of law. Either way, the political fallout is already enormous. Now, let's break this down. The Home Office had planned a mass deportation flight. These kinds of flights usually target individuals who've either overstayed visas, committed crimes, or failed asylum applications. The government insists they're acting within the law. But every time such a flight is announced, campaign groups, lawyers, and MPs raise alarm bells. Enter David Lammy. Sources close to Westminster suggest Lammy was lobbying behind the scenes to block this latest deportation, citing concerns over due process and human rights violations. One insider even put it bluntly: Lammy believes these flights are rushed, unfair, and put vulnerable people at risk. But of course, not everyone agrees. The backlash has been fierce. One Conservative MP wasted no time firing back. This is exactly why people don't trust Labour on borders. Lammy is more interested in protecting criminals than protecting the public. On social media, the divide was instant. Hashtags like hashtag #LammyExposed and hashtag Human Rights First started trending almost side by side. One Twitter user fumed, "Unbelievable! Always putting migrants first, never our communities." Another shot back, "Lammy is doing what real leaders should, defending human rights, even when it's unpopular." And that right there captures the heart of the storm. Is this about law and order, or about compassion and justice? Now, here's what makes this even bigger. This isn't the first time David Lammy has clashed with government over deportation flights. In fact, he's been one of the most consistent critics of the so-called hostile environment immigration policies that go back to Theresa May's days as Home Secretary. Remember the Windrush scandal? Lammy was one of the loudest voices exposing that injustice. So to his supporters, this is Lammy simply being Lammy, consistent, outspoken, unapologetic. They say he's defending the voiceless. They argue he's making sure history doesn't repeat itself. But to his critics, this is proof he's out of touch with the British public. Poll after poll shows immigration is a top concern for voters. And with Labour desperate to prove it can be trusted on borders before the next election, Lammy's stance could be seen as a liability. Here's where things get even more interesting. Behind the scenes, some Labour insiders are reportedly frustrated. One senior Labour figure told a journalist off record, "This is the last thing we need right now. Starmer is trying to look tough and credible on immigration, and Lammy is pulling us in the opposite direction." It's a rare glimpse into the tension inside Labour's own ranks. Publicly, they'll stand together. But privately, there are cracks. Meanwhile, government officials are seizing the moment. They're painting Lammy's actions as proof Labour can't be trusted. One Home Office source told a newspaper, "This is about keeping dangerous offenders off the streets. Anyone who stands in the way has to answer to the British people." Notice the framing, dangerous offenders. That kind of language hits home with a lot of voters who see deportation flights as a matter of safety, not just legality. So, what happens now? Well, legal challenges could delay or even cancel the deportation flight. Activists are already mobilizing, calling for transparency, and urging more MPs to join Lammy's stand. On the other side, the government is doubling down, insisting that the flights are lawful, necessary, and in the national interest. And you can expect this story to dominate the airwaves for days. News outlets love this kind of clash: human rights versus border control, compassion versus security. It's political dynamite. But let's take a step back for a second. This isn't just about one deportation flight. It's about something deeper: the identity of Britain itself. Are we a country that draws hard lines on immigration, no matter the personal stories involved? Or are we a country that makes exceptions even when it risks political backlash? David Lammy has planted himself firmly in the latter camp. And whether you agree with him or not, his intervention has guaranteed that this deportation won't happen quietly, in the shadows. It's front-page news now. And here's the kicker. The public may be split, but politicians know moments like this can shift elections. One wrong move, one badly worded statement, one misstep in the press, and it can define careers. For Lammy, this fight could make him a hero in some eyes, and a villain in others. And for Labour, it could either prove their values, or prove their weakness. So the question remains, is this just another skirmish in the endless immigration debate? Or is it the beginning of a much bigger political showdown that could shape Britain's future? Because if 50 migrants can spark this much outrage, imagine what happens the next time the government doubles down. Stay tuned, this is far from over.